And so, I always say yesterday's price is not today's price. And that's because you're worth more. You deserve more. That's why yesterday's price is not today's price. Just believe in yourself, because we believe in you. We standing here right with you, hoping that you succeed as well.
What we're going to do, what I want you to do here is you're going to look at the Bible in a way that probably you've never looked at it before. And the premise as we go week from week, as we explore through Genesis and go into Exodus, is that what you're going to look here is not a book that has anything to do with religion, has anything to do with spirituality, but is totally talking to you about the evolution of consciousness, the evolution of the mind. And that's a very, very important part, see.
Peace of the tribe, peace of collective. Welcome. It's the Hierophants Bookclub, and we are back with another video. And today we are here live with you guys streaming, and we're to break some beautiful information to you because one, we are a book club. So if we didn't have no books to bring to y'all, we wouldn't be a book club. So the book that we have today, and it's one reason why we was getting into Genesis and talking about Genesis, is becoming supernatural. So you can get this book on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Shit, I'm pretty sure your plug got it because he tapped in like that.
The Libby app, the Scrib app, Apple Books.
Okay. So we're gonna break this into you. But before we get started, I'm gonna let my co-host introduce himself and just talk about why we bring this book to the book club today.
Yes, sir. You already know it's Breeze, Jabriji. You can follow me on Instagram. Shit, man. And one great thing about this book, my mom gave me this book during COVID, and I remember catching the vid. I didn't mean to say that word, but end up catching it. But she gave me this book and I read it, and it really was like a springboard, as far as like my spiritual practices. And it really put the supernatural with the spiritual, or the science to the supernatural. Especially for those people that have to be so materialistic with their understanding about spirituality and different things like that, especially how the physical body works from a psychic's perspective. He gives you that information. He gives you that science. He gives you those scientific studies. So I think it's great for people who might be a little bit skeptical, that may want some proof, because they haven't really had any experiences to prove it for themselves. But yeah, man, it's a great book. It's a great book. And then it even got Hermes symbol on the front.
Hey, on me, the caduceus,
Hermes,
right?
Yeah, Hermes Trismegistus. The caduceus, yeah. Symbol of healing, symbol of health. But yeah.
So one thing I want you guys to get about this book, and Breeze has said, is that we want to demystify the mysticism, right? Because that's one thing that Mr. Joe, or Big Dog Cup of Joe, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why that came in my head. I don't know. I think because like when I hear people say Joe, they be like, "What's up, Cup of Joe?" Anyway, so Cup of Joe, he was trying to have people understand, because he was scared to write this book. He felt like this book would fuck up his reputation. So he bringing this book to be like, fuck that, because I'm a psychologist. And what is psychology? Psychology is study of the soul, right? So, I'm not gonna just be talking the whole time, because I'm gonna bring stuff up to you so you guys can see this, because it's cool that we talk to y'all, but we a book club, so we're gonna be giving you books. We're gonna be giving you articles. The article's gonna be sometimes written by us. We're gonna bring you all types of information to help you understand. And it's not gonna be information that's always gonna be proving us right. It's going to be counter arguments. It's going to be historical research, because why we brought this book club together is one, for us to learn how to go through information properly, to learn to understand our words that we say, to understand who we are. Because if someone was to ask, what are we, or who are you, the only thing we can say is, I don't know. I am what they told me. And on a deeper level, it's just, I'm just a spiritual being having a human experience. So to understand those three things that you just said, you have to look for answers, and you just can't just, Google search everything. You just can't just, listen to somebody on YouTube, because we can tell you all the most greatest information that can change your life, but you're only going to value it if you go out your way to study it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me put this up right. Say. And here you guys go. You got a shot. Love. This is one of my favorite apps. Here you go, dog. Psychology, the study of the soul, the meaning of science, or study of the phenomena of the mind. Right? And the mind is one of the strongest things of them all. And what's basic Kabbalion rules, or a basic universal law, Breeze?
Mentalism. The mind is all. What I'm trying to say, the nature of the universe is mental.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, just simply put, the mind is all that there is. Everything is mind. And so when you study in psychology, it's just a study of the mind. It's a study of how the mind works, in conjunct with the soul. Yeah, and I mean that's like the overarching understanding with all this stuff.
Right. So now the one thing that we want to break into first, right? Because we, so like we told you this book is understanding you, right? But sometimes when we think of ourselves, we think of ourselves very lowly. People talk shit on humans, like they never gonna be shit. And I want you to understand that, not from because I'm telling you ain't gonna be shit, or just because your school grade teacher told you ain't gonna be shit, and then you finna go rap about it. I'm talking about I'm talking about you actually learning that you can transform your life by understanding the key things within your mind. So here's another diagram, right? So I'll pull that up. Breeze, tell me your thought on how it's so easy to see the coherence, right? The coherence between science and mysticism.
So you saying how easy is it to see the correspondence?
Yeah, like
okay.
so you like to the regular eye, that's just science. That's just calculation.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas to us, it's like, nah, man, like that mathematic was like deep from spirit, because number is code to talk. Symbol is code to talk to spirit. Period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of diagrams where it's basically describing like the torus field, which is an energy field that's around us. And what he did was use, I want to say it was the same type of mechanisms that's used for CAT scans. And I don't know if the figure is in there, but it's figure 511. But basically, this I'm gonna just call it a CAT scan. This CAT scan is able to see your energy field, and from that energy field, you're able to see that it flows like a torus. And now, like, the physical body has it, cats have it, apples have it, grapes have it, cantaloupes have it, trees have it, the earth has it. And understanding that you have an energy body, you can work with your energy body, you can expand your energy body. Depending on your emotions, your energy body takes a certain shape and form. Now, this is science showing you that. You don't need science to prove it to yourself. But like I said in the beginning, it's nice to have this for some people that want the scientific background or want to be convinced about the different supernatural aspects of our nature and our experience. Yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, because honestly, like, because the one thing that, so when we talk as spiritual people, when they talk about energy or they talk about spirits, you have to understand that what they're talking about is the quantum world, right? And I'm not going to kick it to you on here like I'm some extreme master scientist. No, I'm not. But I do take heed and read this information because when we was in school, they was teaching the science. You know, they was teaching us chemistry. They was teaching all these things. But imagine if you was in school and they had the essence of God within your teachings, right? Not to brainwash you, not to have you believe in something else, but help you understand yourself, right? You actually want to pay attention to school. You actually value the stuff that is being said, like, oh man, like, okay, so I'm learning math to learn how to code my life and understand certain things talking to me and me talking back instead of me learn how to do algebra for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember I was in math class because I hated math at one point. I sucked at math. And I was just like, man, why was we doing this shit? Like, what? I'm not gonna be adding A+3 once I leave this bitch and go to work. You know, unless you actually on some cool scientific shit like my man Breeze, alchemist by night, engineer by day. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of niggas don't got a cold build like that. So, and a lot of people can't say that. So I want you to understand the craft that bro has put into his work. So he actually using math and he actually understood that at a certain age. And then even if he didn't understood it, he was connected. So I need us to understand that we got to connect to this on a deep level to relearn certain things that's been passed over us that we didn't, like, we just said fuck it. After school over or on my lunch break, I'm gonna sneak away and get high. Whereas if you was taking this information by the time you was out of high school, or if your parents put you through that program, you doing different things in your life. It's like, oh man, I just understood why we had to learn this. Right?
Yep.
Because we're talking about, in this diagram, we're talking about past, present, and future. Right? So the quantum energy that's surrounding you is controlling your life. Right? So whatever you paying attention to, whatever you have your mind on, whatever you focusing on, that is the outcome. So for the man who's struggling with the semen retention, maybe you just need to stop thinking about butt. You know, like maybe you need to stop cracking stuff. So, and I know you like, damn, like we couldn't get into the show about something sexual, but we're going to get into how this is a part of your sexual energy. And as men, we must learn how to hone that and use it to create the lives we want. Because I promise you, if you don't hone it, it's a succubus who's taking all your blessings. You probably didn't get that job you
wasting
wanted.
It.
Yeah, real talk. You probably didn't get that job you wanted because you was wasting your seed, bro. And that's a part of your manifestation.
For real. So with this picture that we have up from the second chapter of the book, I'm gonna read a couple of the notes that I got for it. So this chapter 2. Let me just get the name of the chapter before I start talking.
Cash App.
Chapter 2 is called The Present Moment. I'm just gonna go through the notes I got in my book. Email. All right, so first notes I got says think of emotions as chemical residue from past experiences or chemical feedback. The stronger the emotional quotient from an event in your life, the more the experience leaves a lasting impression in your brain. So it's basically explaining how when we have an experience, we have a chemical, a biological chemical response in our brain. So basically, you can go to a lab, they can put sensors all on your head, and you can think about something traumatic, or you can think about something that just makes you laugh until you cry. There's a different type of chemicals that are released, and it's observed. So they can literally be like, oh, you feeling this just by the chemicals that are released in your brain. It's just something to keep in mind. What else I got in here? I mean, even like looking at this diagram basically is telling you, oh, it got a little description at the bottom.
Yeah, I was trying to see.
Yeah, as you take your attention off past present reality or your predictable future reality, you are calling energy back to you and building your own electromagnetic field. Basically it's just about being present, because when you constantly thinking about the past, you thinking about the future, you end up depressed and stricken with anxiety. But when you don't obsess about the past and the future, and you realize the only thing that you have is the present moment, you draw all that energy back to yourself. You weaken your ability to manifest when you are thinking about the past. How can you be your best self in the moment if you're thinking about the past? You know what I mean? Like,
leave thoughtlicious alone, bro.
Right. Or stop thinking about her ass, or stop thinking about what might happen to you when you walk out the house,
If you want to think about something, right? Because in this diagram, right? So before I move on, I want you guys to understand what the quantum world is, right? Right. So let me zoom in so y'all can see. My fault, man. I'm still new at this. Don't get mad at me. So look, the quantum world is smaller than the atom. And the atom right now is your table. If you close your eyes and touch your table, you're touching atoms. Once you open your eye, you're saying you're touching your table. And if you feel like you're still touching the table when you close your eyes, don't argue with me. I want you to go talk to Joe. I want you to go talk to a lot of other scientists who live and die for this shit. And you go argue with them. Because the quantum world, the things that behave the same way as objects on the scale that we can see is mind-boggling. So it's just too much shit to overlook for you to be like, man, this spiritual shit ain't real. But I digress, right? So go ahead, brother.
Just to drop a jewel, even the quantum on a certain level misses the point. And what I mean by that atoms are still physical. When we talking about our spirituality, we're talking about what is non-physical. And could you go back to that definition?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Things at this scale don't behave the same way as objects on the scale that we can see. So it's basically the unseen world. The quantum, the unseen world, spirituality is non-physical. But once again, this is where it gets difficult, because you have science trying to pull together physicality for non-physical, if that makes sense. That's just something to think about, because at a certain level, you get to a point where it's like it's just all mind. But what is mind?
Look,
It ain't physical.
And peep this, bro. As you're talking about that, right? It's literally saying these subatomic bits of matter don't follow the same rules as objects that we can see, feel, or hold. These entities are ghostly and strange, right?
Sometimes they behave like clumps of matter. Think of them as subatomic baseballs. They also can spread out as waves, like ripples on a pond. That's just like the double slit experiment, where someone's looking at light particles through a slit. Excuse me. God damn.
We smoke the best gas out here. Don't let no nigga tell you different.
Yeah, we smoke that quantum kush. No. It's in that supernatural bag, nigga. No. But damn, I just forgot what I was gonna say. It's talking about the double slit experiment. So when the light particles were observed with the human eye, they were, or I'm gonna just say when the light photons were observed, it acted like a particle, and then when the observer turned away, it was a wave. So basically saying when we observe something, we interact with it and we can affect its nature. Basically just showing how powerful, once again, how the mind works. When you put your attention on something, you affect it and you change it. When you put your attention on something, you interact with it. It influences you and you influence it. And it just gives you a deeper understanding of like the type of things that we partake in life. You know what I mean? Just because you watching something don't mean that you free from participating in it. If you watching Mortal Kombat, your body feeling like it's in that world. You know what I mean? If you watching some crazy sex fetish stuff, your body is like, oh shit. I mean, yeah, your ego can logically say, oh, this ain't real, but while your body is saying, no, this shit is real, it makes me think of a quote from Outwitting the Devil, but I ain't gonna say it. We're gonna get to that later. But feel like I was rambling a little bit, but
no, not at all, bro. Not at all, because when you think about it, the main goal of this intro that we're trying to tell you is that, and what this book is trying to tell you is that wherever you put your mind and attention to, honestly, is what you're going to manifest. Like, let's just be simple, clear as that. Like, we literally said earlier that you walking out the house and you thinking about what's going to happen to you, but you never walk out the house and be like, I'm going to meet this person and they're going to be telling me how much they love my art and content. I'm going to meet this person and they're going to tell me how much they want to work with me. I'm going to meet this person and I'm going to get a sale today. I'm going to meet this opportunity. Like, we don't think like that. We think, okay, I didn't use no condom. She finna be pregnant. I'm finna get arrested because I'm speeding. I don't think I'm good enough. Like
Right.
you gotta really think
Right.
about all the stuff that you say you're not gonna be, or you say you not gonna do, because the main thing that's gonna really bring you something out of this life is what you tell yourself before you go to bed.
Yeah, because I mean, you could choose to, yeah, you can choose to say positive things to yourself and think of your reality in a positive way. And stop trying to predict your future based off of the past, because you only gonna get the same shit. You know what I mean? Like your past does not belong in the future. And I think
Man,
that's what you do when you obsess over it. But when you're in the present, you allow the unknown to happen. You know what I mean? You allow yourself to be renewed, but if you constantly think about the past or the future, you are putting yourself in a box, basically. You're putting yourself in a box. The only thing that exists is now, the present moment. That's why the present is a present. It's a gift. You know what I mean? The present moment
yeah.
is a gift. You know, um, it's like it's 0 point energy. You know what I mean? Like it's infinite potential right there. Like the present moment is the black hole. Everything exists in the now, not in the future or the past. You know, um, so it's very important. The first steps of becoming supernatural to do whatever you can to be present. And even if it's 10 minutes out your day where you just breathing and just sitting with yourself. Even if you ain't at an altar, you just sitting in your car, turning music off and just sit and just breathe.
Mhm. I mean,
Be
honestly, I
present.
think it is like when you driving places, turn the music off.
Yeah.
Turn the music off and
Find
be
a
present.
mantra and just chant that mantra.
Because one thing that before we go, that we really want to have you understand, that Joe really used in his workshops, and what he talked to most of his students about, was brainwaves, right? And there's 4 different type of brainwaves. And honestly, if you had locked in with a Hood, he had a whole class where he talked about, DNA codes with Tarot, and how those 4 brainwaves and those 4 DNA structures connect together. So I'm gonna pull up another diagram and we talk about brainwaves a little bit, because these brainwaves you can access to do certain meditations, to help you do certain trances, also to even help you like when to catch them in certain times of the day. Because really, you wake up, as soon as you wake up, you in a certain brain state. And I'm gonna pull that up now. And what's that first one called? Right? Theta, right? As soon as you wake up in the
Because you got
morning.
alpha, beta, delta, and gamma. I want to say
I said
alpha,
theta, boy. I'm on
theta.
theta
Yeah, I
new
think
theta.
alpha, theta, beta,
Oh, okay. I was sure gonna say I was theta.
delta, gamma. But
Thetas.
there might be a diagram in there. But I'm gonna read something else from chapter 2.
Go ahead, Brody.
As we react to a situation in our external environment that produces an emotion, the resulting internal chemistry can signal our genes to either turn on or to turn off. The gene itself doesn't physically change, the expression of the gene changes. And that expression is what affects your health in your life. So just building off of the first thing that I read, experiences give you a certain chemical residue in your brain.
Mm.
And from that chemical residue either turns on or turns off a particular gene. So it's just like a domino effect. You fixate on your trauma or you experience a trauma, and Now the chemical residue of that traumatic experience is in your brain, and it's causing you, or it's turning on specific genes. So it can be a gene basically for heart disease, or like a cancer or something like that. Um, it's just the understanding that our emotions literally affect our biology. If you sad all the time, you are literally telling your liver to be sad.
Mm.
You know, or if you don't want to say tell it be sad, you're literally allowing it to be sad. And what does a sad liver do? It can't produce insulin. You know what I mean? Now you got diabetes. Um, and it's just like a domino effect. So it's very important um, to protect the mind, be present, and be clear on what chemical residue that you have. Because we all got it, you know what I mean? Because we all live our life and have experiences, and we've had experiences that we didn't like at some point, and it's important to resolve those things, and the best way to resolve something is to put your attention on it, because when you put your attention on something, you interact with it, you're able to influence it. You get what I mean? Like, it's just like applying it to shadow work. Your shadow is a wave. You know what I mean? Your shadow is literally like the ocean. But when you focus on your shadow become a drop of water. It become a drop of water, or at least you get to deal with it as a drop of water and not as a ocean. You get what I mean? Like, when you're not paying attention to your shadow, it's able to just, you know what I mean, hit you over the head with something crazy. You know what I mean? Drag you down
Okay.
the alley and shit. You know what I mean? On a dark, foggy night. But when you focusing on it, you know what I mean? When you intentionally working with your shadow, you know what I mean? You out in the middle of the park during the day. That's the difference from putting your attention on something and not putting your attention on something.
Nah, for real, you just cooked with that, bro. You really just cooked with that, because shadow being a wave, that kind of like really just summed up what we was basically talking about with the quantum world and energy and just entities, period, right? So before we bounce out, right, we're going to talk about the brain waves. What are brain waves? Throughout the daily task, your brain is firing with neural activity. These neurons can fire randomly or in a synchronized manner, right? So if they can fire in a synchronized manner, think about how you can program yourself and learn how to activate those certain brain waves by doing certain activities. These synchronized rhythmic electrical pulses from communicating neurons are called neural oscillations or brainwaves. For these signals to be detected from the cerebral surface, a large number of neurons must be synchronously active. When the signal's amplitude is high enough, they can be detected from the cerebral surface when the I went to public school, bro, so help me out.
And
Electrocardiogram.
no, that word is crazy.
Holography.
Electroencephalography. I think
Electroencephalography. Okay.
EEG.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you see what he did. EEG. These are different categories of brainwaves which are characterized by the difference in frequencies, amplitude. The four main brainwaves that are recognized are alpha, beta, theta, and delta. Right. So, and here's a figure of them. Right. So now we're just gonna explain, just explain them real quick, because this is just the intro. There's more to the book to come, more articles to come. We're gonna even look into the workshops that Joe did, because I'm just saying, man, like, imagine, because when people explain the spiritual shit to you, right, they hit you with so much mumbo jumbo, right, but they can never tell you the simple things that are spiritual that we. Because look, if you was fucking with the initiates, shout out to the initiates, man. We coming hard. Pause.
Pause.
But we stepping, and
Hey,
we're trying to let you know, like, if you tapped in with us when we was talking about John Dee, see, back in the 16th century, and when the British Empire was coming up, they had these ideals already set. You had people talking to angels, bringing these ideas and help, just explaining mysticism. But back then, that was actual reality, and it still is today. It's just that in our eyes, it's being portrayed as a different thing, so we don't know what's going on. But at the same time, they're telling us what's going on. And that's some tricky universal law shit. So alpha waves. Alpha waves have a frequency of 8 to 12 hertz. So when you hear people talk about frequency, this is what they're talking about. Your brain wave. You're vibrating low, right? So an alpha, right? These can be seen in states when a subject is awake, relaxed, and resting. These waves are most intensely in optical region, the visual cortex, when the subject has their eyes closed. The synchronization is caused by blocking visual input to occipital areas. In addition, these waves can also be recorded from the frontal scalp regions. So, not to beat your head with jargon, because that's what I'm doing. These alpha waves disappear when the subject is asleep. When the subject is awake and attention is directed to some specific type of mental activity, the alpha waves are replaced by the asynchronous waves of higher frequencies but lower altitude. So activating the alpha waves, you trying to focus, you trying to zone in on something, but it's being present, right? And what's your thought on alpha waves, Breeze? Like if a nigga came to you and they were just talking about brain waves and just mentioned alpha waves, what comes to your head if we didn't even like read this article or didn't pull this shit up?
I would say alpha wave, you chilling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You chilling, you relaxing, you probably off work or out of school. It makes me think of like a cat or a dog. You know what I mean? Like think about like how a dog just walk around and you just lay down, look around, or a cat just walk around, look around, jump up on the couch, take a nap. I look at it like that, like alpha waves, you kind of just you cooling. You know what I mean? And then beta waves is kind of like what we doing now. You know what I mean? Intellectual activity, focus, alertness. There's a little bit more of like thinking, you know. And I do remember hearing about like the brain waves where it's like you're not always just one state. You can be a little bit of alpha, a little bit of beta. You know what I mean? Or because I believe like theta might be sleep and delta might be like deep sleep / meditation. But yeah, I mean it's
yeah, and like even in
cool.
even in the diagram in Joe's book, which I suggest that you should get, because on page 92 in chapter, let me give you a chapter because my bookworms like you holding out. Chapter 4, the blessing of energy centers, and we have a diagram, so we're gonna show you that before we go. But he literally has getting beyond the analytical mind. So the beta is the conscious mind, the alpha is the analytical, and that's the mind that you want to get past, because the beta is basically using 5%, while alpha is using 10%, and then the rest of the brain that's locked away is between theta and delta, subconscious mind and automatic nervous system. So, and one of the main purposes of meditation is to move beyond the analytical mind. What separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. As you slow your brain waves down, you move out of your conscious mind and your thinking brain past the analytical mind into the operating system of the subconscious mind, where all those automatic programs and unconscious habits exist. So when you're trying to reprogram yourself, the goal is to understand these brain waves, get past them to program your mind. It's like going to your subconscious and whispering, like, Bugatti, 7 thick hoes, $1 million, you know. Nah, that just ain't gonna pop up. But if you do wake up with a recipe, you know what you had to do, right? Oops, I'm not in there. Bro. Right? And now theta, we just explained this, right? Theta is the subconscious mind. So they could be in a states of daydreaming or light sleep, right? And we can activate daydreaming and light sleep through meditation. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how many people be tapping into their theta minds when they daydreaming in class, bro.
Oh yeah, all the time. Like just like I was saying, you can be having multiple brainwaves at once. So you can be in class with your beta, but you can be at such a relaxed state. You can probably have beta theta going. So you thinking, but you kind of in like a dream state, daydreaming state. Kind of like imaginative. It's interesting, you know what I mean, to just think about it, you know what I mean, and maybe even just like go on Pinterest and have a little, I guess for lack of better words, cheat sheet of all the brain states, and just throughout your day, like what would I say my brain state is at this moment, you know what I mean, and look at it, you know what I mean, and work with it yourself, you know what I mean, because once again, it's about becoming aware of this stuff, and putting your attention to it. Yeah, because once again, kind of going back to the analogy, like the wave and the particle, um, and thinking of just like the waves just being vast water, and then the particle being just something that you can deal with, something that you can control. It's kind of like that, you know. It's hella information out here, but until you put your attention on something, that's all there is. If that makes sense. If that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because the main thing is like if you really want to make that change in your life, is understanding these brain waves and understanding where your frequency is at. Because then it's like, all right, I need to change the habits. I'm gonna tap into my delta waves. I'm gonna really go in that deep meditation. I'm gonna really play music.
Right.
I'm gonna play music before I go to sleep.
Right.
I'm gonna play certain sounds as I'm sleeping. Honestly, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, you just gave me an idea. It's basically like understanding that your brain is an antenna and you just tweaking the frequency for whatever you need to use your brain for. And then like the gamma state is the last one. Oh yeah, and delta, I'm sorry. It's like deep sleep, you know. It's also like deep states of meditation as well. And then the last one is the gamma frequency brain waves, which indicate what Joe Dispenza calls superconscious state. He said this high frequency energy occurs when the brain gets aroused from internal events. One of the most common examples is during meditation when your eyes are closed and you're going within instead of an event that happens outside of the body. So it's like those instances of like genius, like the aha moment, like the cartoon when you see the light bulb over the head. That's like gamma state.
What Jimmy Neutron do?
That's like, yeah, that's like, that's the download. You know what I mean? Gamma state is the download. But and he gets more into the brain states throughout the book because he first mentions it in let's say chapter 2. Yeah, I'm gonna say chapter 2. Yeah, page 57.
Yeah, because we're gonna break into this. It's just that if we didn't give y'all a snippet, give y'all a little small understanding, because this is not the only book we're gonna do. Just a little sneak peek. You know, get ready for this episode of Genesis. We're gonna be thugging hard. You gonna think, no, you not gonna think. You gonna understand and see us channeling, nigga. Like no cap. You know how Desi Banks be no cap. But also get ready for Outwitting for the Devil, because like I said, we coming hard. Fuck, pause. We stepping hard. So I need you to understand that once we done with this beauty, and we're using this to help explain the Bible in the first part of Genesis, the gene in you, right? Outwitting the Devil is the next conversation. Like I did that. Next conversation that you must intact, because let's get on some astrology shit, right? The deep shit for yourself is realizing that if you want to meet that person that you so focused on in the future, you need to have a talk with your higher self, and that's talking to the devil. You if you want to climb that mountain and get to those riches, guess who you gonna meet on top of that mountain? The GOAT himself, the devil, you. So keep that in mind, right? Keep that in your heart, cherish it, walk with it, you know. And if you got any questions on your chart, if you got any questions about tarot, hit us up, man. Hit us at our email at the Hierophants Bookclub.com. You hit our Instagrams personally. You can email us personally. You know, we'll have that all below. You can also join our Discord. We have a Discord for the initiates, and here's Discord right here. Our Discord is always popping. Like I'm not even trying to talk shit, but like our Discord is always popping. We got people always dropping info in there. We got people always telling each other Grand Rising. We are a community and we're building. So it's about who you know about and not what you know. You could probably have some fire information, but you don't got a team. You don't got people supporting you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people here, bro, who got businesses trying to put themselves on, trying to put other people on. So if you just not in this chat, I know you're not serious about your money. You're not serious about really promoting yourself. So get active in the Discord with us and fuck with us, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Breeze is a wise man. Like no cap. Like you not gonna find no reader, bro, that is a fucking engineer by day, alchemist by night. Until you find that nigga, let me know, cause he right in front of you. No cap. But before we head out, bro, is there anything you want to say, man?
Man, you said everything. And follow both of us on Instagram. You can find the Hierophants Bookclub through each one of our Instagrams. Look out for Genesis, and then look out for probably like a full length Becoming Supernatural video. Then Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil is a real fun book, especially how it's written. It's a real fun book. I'm really thinking about like really being involved in Discord about it. You know what I mean? Like just get everybody like, hey, look, read this chapter and we gonna stream today. Or, you know, we'll do something like we'll do
like Q&A.
We'll have a discussion video for it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we'll present some of the information, and then from there we'll just drop the link in the Discord. You know, we'll just have a panel, group conversation, however you want to say it, just about the science, you know.
Cash out.
Email.
So I appreciate everybody for fucking with us and just joining live in this in the introduction to Becoming Supernatural. We had this beauty for a while, but like, man, if we don't try to practice some of this stuff and we don't try to go through ourselves, you know, we really ain't giving y'all a true experience. So peace to the tribe. Look out for us on Sunday and be looking out for the initiates. Go fuck with Sacred, man. Sacred Serpent. Go fuck with Hood Mystic, man. Like I said, we
Yes,
stepping.
sir.
So, peace and have a good night, y'all.
Peace.